Which song can you sing or rap start to finish?
No judgment, okay?
No judgment. So it's a safe space.
It's a safe space.
Safe space.
Hit 'em up. But I'm not gonna.
What's hit 'em up? I don't even know it.
Oh my goodness, you're
I'm
so innocent.
Bad. I really am.
You're so innocent.
Who is it
She doesn't
by?
know Tupac.
Make upgrading your security a priority with the Ring's range of smart home security devices. Indoor and outdoor cameras, video doorbells, and alarm. Ring products are easy to install and allow you to monitor your home from your phone via the Ring app, no matter where you are. With cameras in strategic locations, indoors and outdoors, you can create a ring of security around your property. Ring security devices boast advanced features including live view, two-way talk, motion-activated alerts, and night vision. Ring, keeping people close to what's important.
Hello, Wisdom and Wellness family. Welcome to a special episode. Look, this conversation I'm excited about. It's one thing to have a conversation with this woman once. It's another thing to have a conversation twice. So today I'm joined by actress, filmmaker, businesswoman, mother, lover of life, fitness enthusiast, and founder of Connie Brands, Connie Ferguson.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Hi. Thank you. It's been a long time coming. I enjoyed our last conversation so much. I was looking forward to this one.
I know, but I didn't think it would happen again. Like, it's one of those things where, and I think I told you this, I was like, you've always been on like the vision board that when I'm ready, I'm going to have Connie Ferguson.
Right.
And I was content with one conversation. But obviously we were short of time and I had so much more to ask you. So when it was an opportunity to do it again, I was just like, Jesus loves me. He really loves me.
Of course he loves you. He loves us both because here I am.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into some icebreakers.
Okay.
Which acting role have you played that has the most similarities to you where you're like, this is me?
I think strangely, all the characters I play will have, like, they'll be distinctively different
Okay.
from Connie
Yeah.
as a person. But because you always have to draw from your own experiences
Yeah.
and some of your own characteristics,
Yeah.
there will be similarities.
100%.
But I think the most similar one would be Dr. Lerato Molefe. I don't even think you would remember her.
No, I'm trying
You
to think
would
of all
be
your
too,
shows.
yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know.
I just think in terms of demeanor and personality, and she was quite reserved.
Okay.
So she was a doctor
Yeah.
in Soul City. I don't know if you remember a show
I
called
did
Soul
watch
City.
Soul City, but
Back
like,
in the
back
day.
then, but like, I didn't even know you were in Soul City.
See, I was in Soul City 1 and 2. So
Okay.
you probably started watching
Way later.
Way later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
definitely Dr. Lerato Molefe. And then I think Os Mavis to a point.
Okay.
Because she has so many qualities that resembled my mom. And
Really?
I'm also have my mom's qualities
Yeah.
here and there. So
Yeah.
yeah, Os Mavis to a point.
So you're not going to mention Karabo at all?
Well, of course, Karabo, but it's just Karabo. You know, when she was younger, she was so rebellious.
Okay.
Hey?
I don't remember how Karabo was because I was young. But I remember
Yes.
your outfits and I remember your posture and how
Yes.
you would go into the office.
Right?
Look at me saying you. Yeah.
Yeah, me, her. Yeah, she was a lady, right? I
Yeah.
mean, she wore dresses all the time.
Yeah.
Those super short
Yeah.
miniskirts.
Wanted two husbands.
Wanted to, and well, when she was older, you know,
Yeah.
introduced the polyandry thing, wanted
Yeah.
2 husbands. I never even knew that was a
That was
thing.
a thing. You
until-
introduced the whole of South Africa to
Right.
that. Yeah.
I never, oh gosh, she was a lot of women's hero, I promise you. But yeah, similarities here and there, but not very much. I mean, I lived vicariously through Karabo.
Yeah.
Because she was brave enough to do a lot of the things that
That you
I could
couldn't do.
never do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Which song can you sing or rap start to finish?
So many, but I think a lot of Mariah Carey songs
Okay.
I can sing from start to
Okay,
finish.
can you hit the
I
notes?
was one of those kids that had a songbook.
Yes, where you write
Growing
down all
up,
the
we used to-
lyrics.
yes, we
Okay.
used to write down lyrics and stuff. So a lot of Mariah Carey songs I can sing beginning to end.
And rap?
Do you want to know for real?
I do want to know.
This is a Christian show, you know?
I want to know.
No judgment, okay?
No judgment. It's a safe space.
It's a safe space.
Safe space.
Hit him up. But I'm not gonna.
What's hit him up? I don't even know it.
You don't. Oh my goodness, you're
I'm
so innocent.
bad. I really am.
You're so innocent.
Who is it
She doesn't
by?
know Tupac.
Prince, you know hit him up. Okay, Prince is done. After this, I'm gonna go. So from start to finish.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go listen to hit him up when I'm done. PG 18 for the viewers.
21.
PG 21. Okay, my last icebreaker. What's your morning routine?
Okay. Literally slip out of bed, onto my knees, pray.
Okay, what time?
It depends on what my day looks like.
Okay.
But on average, I wake up at 6.
Okay.
Right, so on average.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have early mornings, I'll wake up at 4, 4:30.
Okay, but you're an early riser.
I'm an early riser.
Cool.
Whether I've set my alarm or not, I'm up.
Got you.
Get up on my knees, pray, go brush my teeth, get ready for gym, go work out, come back, take a shower, or if I'm really sore, I'll do a salt bath.
Okay.
Like have a mini pamper session.
Yeah.
And then get about my day.
Okay.
Yeah.
When do you eat breakfast? You don't eat breakfast.
I eat breakfast.
What time do you eat breakfast?
After gym.
After gym.
So it depends on what time I start training and what time I finish.
Okay.
So that'll be like my first breakfast. Usually it's around 9. If I train late, then it'll be around 11.
Okay. But you look like you gym more than once a day. Do you?
No.
No.
Not all the time.
Sometimes. Okay.
Yeah.
It is that time of the year again. Join us for Speak Life September 2024, our 30-day transformation course. This year, we are focused on the theme Flourish. What you can expect is community, a personalized journal, affirmation cards, master classes, and a community dedicated to ensuring that you are the best version of yourself. You can expect to learn and hear from our experts Lwanele Khasu, Zureda Jardine, and Tando Yenkosi Kunene. Sign up now using the link in the description. Let's flourish together.
Let's get into our conversation. Right now, how would you best describe this decade or this season of your life?
It keeps changing for me, right? Like this morning when I woke up, I felt, for the most part, I've been feeling very peaceful, very joyful, like finding joy in the little things, just creating my own safe spaces and happy spaces. Today, I kind of woke up on the wrong side of the bed, so to speak. And I can't even say why. I think I had a horrible dream.
Yeah.
Can I tell you about my dream?
Tell me about it.
So I had the weirdest dream. I dreamt I had lost my bag.
Your bag, handbag.
My handbag. So I'm very attached to my handbag.
It's that deep for you.
It is that deep for me.
Okay.
I can't lose my handbag because then it means losing my driver's license.
Your life.
My life, my bank cards, everything. So it's just, I felt so lost looking for my bag and I couldn't find it. And I was worried about my cars. And so I think all that turmoil in my sleep kind of affected my waking, because then I was so confused when I woke up and I was just so happy that it was just a
like,
dream.
oh, perfect,
It was just a dream. I'm
Yeah.
here, my bag is here, everything is here. So I think that just started me off. And also, Shaw was kind of in my dream as well, because as I was looking for my bag, I was also looking for him to ask him what I should do.
Ah.
So it caught me off guard a little bit because I haven't dreamt about him in a while.
Yeah.
And it's also almost his 3-year anniversary since on the 30th. So we're almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's just one of those
lot of
days for me. A lot of
emotions,
emotions, but I think generally I found ways to be joyful. I am peaceful.
Yeah.
So what would I call this season? Just being.
Just being.
Mm.
Do you believe dreams have meaning?
I do believe they have meaning. I do believe some dreams are just dreams.
Yeah.
I don't attach too much value to them. But I do believe there are those dreams that have specific meaning. I don't know if this one particularly does. I think maybe I've just been thinking about him a lot and missing him a lot, and knowing that, we are nearing the 3rd anniversary could just be one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I have a bad dream or an unsettling dream, I'll pray about it in the morning and cancel whatever I don't want to happen.
Yeah, because I generally don't dream, but when I do dream, normally it means something.
It means something.
It means
right?
something. I never always find the answers, but it's just, I guess, paying attention. Like you said, that, oh, maybe it's because an anniversary is
Yes.
coming up. But I think, and I was talking to Brennan this morning, and we were talking about the business, and I was excited, and I was like, oh, but, you know, Monday you were feeling so frustrated. I thought you don't want to do this anymore. And I said, you know, I've come to understand, and I think a lot of it came from our conversation, that emotions are there to be felt.
Right.
And in the times where I've tried to pretend like it doesn't exist, or I'm going to soldier through it, the pain or that turmoil lasts longer. Versus, you know, right now I feel sad. Right now I feel like I want to quit this whole thing. I don't want to show up. And that's where I want to sit with my feelings. And then I wake up the next morning and it's all of a sudden you feel lighter or brighter. But in essence, I think emotions are just meant to be felt.
They are. And I suppose that's why I call it being, right?
Yeah.
I woke up this morning and I wasn't feeling myself. And before, I think I'd be so hard on myself. Like I'd just tell myself, Connie, snap out of it. You have things to do and whatever. And now I just feel it.
Yeah, like this is where I am.
I feel it. I go with it. It will change. Just like the weather changes, the sun rises.
Yeah.
There's always light.
How has this winter been for you? I know, I think when I read one of my favorite covers, I was on my way to Botswana. I told you about it, the Women's Health, where your abs were sitting there and you're dressed in orange.
Yeah.
And I was sitting at the airport, and you wrote about how during the winter, I think you've got seasonal depression. Yeah, but you found ways to manage. So how has this winter been for you? How has it been different to the previous winters? Do you feel like you found a working system, or it's the waves again?
There are waves,
yeah,
but very far and few in between. I have found a system that works, and that's gym. For me, gym works. And I think because now I've made it a priority, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like I have to include it in my schedule. Like everything works around my gym time.
Like your management team, they know, like, this is gym time. We don't
This is gym time. We don't book her in this time. She'll be at gym. After this, she is ours the whole day. And I think that the only challenge comes when I'm filming.
Yeah.
Because then there I have to work around someone else's schedule.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because then I can fit it in the evening, or I don't mind waking up extra early just to start my day off like that and get it done. But you know what? That has really, really helped me stay off meds.
Yeah.
I swear by it. And the weather hasn't been that horrible either.
It hasn't. It
hasn't.
I haven't
It
taken
really
out my
hasn't.
coats, which I'm sad about, because I like winter.
You do?
I love winter. It's cozy. Look at us. We like cozied up. We're close to each other. We're having a cup of tea.
You have a cup of tea.
I'm having a cup of tea. Like, this is my season. It's like, it is not coming to the party.
Oh my goodness, no. I was in Cape Town last week and it rained for the better part. I wanted to come back to Joburg.
Just like you can't do.
No, I can't do not seeing the sun for days on end. Yeah.
So I was reading that your career is about 3 decades, which is 30 years old, which is how old I am. So
longer.
Or longer.
Yes.
And I realized that you're still creating some of your best work, right? And I think a lot of my age mates, we kind of feel like we don't have time. We feel like if I don't do it now, like, this is my peak season. I'm 30 years old. I'm in my 20s, etc. So today I kind of want our conversation to focus a lot on the importance of time and longevity, right? And we kind of spoke about how you started out at first and everything. But when your career was taking off and you could see that, okay, now I'm becoming a brand, I guess then you were probably like brand Karabo versus brand Connie, right?
Yes.
Did you have a clear idea or vision of how it would look like right now in your 50s, or were you just focused on this is what's happening in the moment?
I've always been a moment focused person, with a dream for the future, but never like a set idea that this is what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
Because I think just from experience from my 20s, because I grew up when I was young. I had Lesedi when I was 22. I was supposed to grow up very quickly. So from my experience, like just setting those goals, and although I believe in visualization and all that, I think sometimes when certain things don't happen, that you expect it to happen at a certain time.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't handle that kind
Yeah.
of pressure.
Yeah. We fall apart.
Yeah, and with my personality, I don't think I'd be able to handle that kind of pressure.
Sure.
So I try not to put myself under
that pressure.
Under that pressure. And I find it's worked for me because then I surprise myself a lot. You know, because I'll focus on my short-term goals and achieve those. And every time I reach a goal, I'll have another one and another one. But I try not to look too far into the future because, I mean, it's like, and that's how I've treated grieving as well. It can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just have to work with what you
One day at a time.
have,
Yeah.
but knowing what you're working towards.
Yeah. But looking at the act, I mean, you were in the acting industry, entertainment industry before you got into business, right?
Yeah.
Did you feel a sense of, I'll be okay in my industry? Because there isn't a lot of security within that business. So what I'm trying to basically understand is that how did you navigate the uncertainty of, I'm in my 20s, I'm in my 30s, but how do my 50s look from a financial perspective?
Right.
Am I achieving enough? What are my peers doing? How did you handle all of that?
No, I was never secure because it's always been a hand to mouth. Really type of industry.
Yeah.
It's better now because we have long forms, we have soapies, we have telenovelas and whatever. So performers get to have longer contracts.
Yeah.
Whereas when we started, you'd literally be employed for like 6-8 weeks.
And you don't know what's happening next.
And you don't know what's happening next. You have to find the next gig. So I think from a very early age, I learned to save. So my plan when I was starting out always was, if I can't, from my current job, if I can't save for the next 6 months, so if I can't plan for the next 6 months without a job, then I'm doing something wrong.
Sure.
So I literally, when I was starting, lived way below my means so that I could save. So I learned to save very early on.
Yeah.
Saving was big for me. And not only that, I learned to not just focus on acting or presenting. I used to multitask. Like I'd act, present at the same time. I think there was a point where I had 4 jobs.
Sure.
All at the same time. And I was also into sales.
Oh, like
selling perfume.
Oh yeah, I was about to say like Avon kind of vibe. Yeah.
Been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, like everything that could bring in the extra cash, because I never at any point wanted to be complacent.
Okay.
And just rely on one source of income. So I've always been that person that always had multiple streams of income. So I suppose the business mindedness started from there.
It's always been there. Yeah.
Where I always treated myself like a business, like a small business and never just like an actress or presenter.
Are you one of those people who you will do the smallest job in the, like, if you have to pick up the mop, I'll do it. If you have to do, like, there's, what do they call it? Sort of like, you don't have pride about what to do. Like, if tomorrow you have to wake up and go sell shoes, that's exactly what you do. Selling shoes as Connie Ferguson.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
As long as it brings in money.
That's what you're doing.
As long as it's honorable.
Yeah. Honorable.
I don't have to kill anybody and I don't have to steal from anybody.
Yeah.
I will do it.
Okay. How did you navigate comparison? How do you navigate comparison? I'd like to think it was easier when you were in your 20s or 30s, where all you had is a magazine.
You think?
I'm assuming. I'm painting a picture.
Yeah.
I'm painting a picture. All you had is you buy a magazine and then you see Halle Berry and you're like, oh, she's doing this. Look how she's looking. And then you feel down and then you put it down.
Yeah.
But now, literally in our pockets, you open your phone and you see what every actor is doing or what every businesswoman is doing or what all your peers are doing. How have you dealt or how do you deal with comparison and competition?
It's hard when you're growing up. I think it gets easier as you get older and you become more comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
But I think when you're growing up, you can't help but compare.
Yeah.
Because everyone around you is comparing. I remember when I started off in the industry, I was a model first, and then I started acting as well. So I did both together for a while before I ended up choosing acting. In a casting room, I mean, you'd be standing there with a group of other models and, you'd have people sitting on the other side of the table judging you like your props, right?
Like looking you up and down.
Not even there, like looking you up and down and comparing you to the other models and discussing in front of you. I mean, you can't help but feel small.
Yeah.
And then you end up hearing and taking in everything negative
Yeah.
that they're saying about you.
Yeah.
And looking at the other girls and, seeing all the positive things that they're saying about them. And then you start to compare yourself to other people. When you're young, you still wet behind the ears, you're vulnerable, you haven't quite found your voice and who you are, so it's hard.
Yeah.
So I can imagine now with social media
Literally in your pocket.
Do you know what I mean? I can imagine how difficult it is now for
us,
for younger people.
Yeah.
But I think eventually you do the most important thing, I think, for me is to just recognize how beautiful you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that beauty is not just exterior. It's like, really, I believe in beauty from the inside out.
Yeah.
And it comes in all shapes, sizes, colors, hair textures.
Yeah. Grays and all.
Oh my God, grays and all. Yeah. You'll have that thing that makes you so special and that makes you stand out.
Yeah.
And I think for me now is to never wait for somebody to tell you how beautiful you are. You kind of have to look in the mirror and see that beauty and recognize that beauty and radiate that beauty.
Yeah.
And once you do that, then everyone around you will start seeing you the way you see yourself.
Yeah. When did you find your voice, or when did you start getting comfortable with your skin, with everything that you come with?
Honestly, I think after I met Sho, I think before then I was always like unsure, always trying to find myself, always searching for who I really am.
Yeah.
But after I met my husband, a few years into my marriage, I think also just the comfort of home,
the safety.
The safety, having that safe space, that safe person, that safe everything, and also having the constant validation. And I know we like to keep saying that we don't need validation.
You don't need validation to come from within.
But you know what? If it comes from the right person, like you really need to hear that positivity echoed to you on a daily, because then you start believing it.
Yeah.
And I think he really did that for me. So safely to say, from my mid-30s onwards, I kind of knew exactly who Connie was.
Yeah, and no one could tell you anything.
No one could tell me. Even no one can tell me anything about me.
Do you remember ever waking up? And I know it's never really specific to a moment, but I wrote this to myself on my 29th, and I said, I like myself, right?
Yeah.
Because I woke up and I'm like, girl, I like you.
I love it.
I like yourself. But do you remember that a specific moment when you realized, hi man, everything about me is okay. I like myself.
Yeah. Oh no. I don't know if there was a specific moment. I'd be lying if I said I remember one moment where I wake up and I just went, Connie, you're the girl. You're the girl you think you are, right? But I think that there have been different moments, obviously through different achievements and just different successes where I thought, you got this. You got this. You are the girl you think you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you've continued, and as you've spoken, you did so many things and you do so many things, and you've continued to reinvent yourself, right? And over time, what do you think has been the key for you to remain passionate? Because it's one thing to be doing things for a long time and they're working out, but like the passion is drained out and you can see that. But to remain passionate and to remain true to yourself, but most importantly, how have you remained impactful?
Yeah. I think it's important to, number one, be surrounded by people who really genuinely want to see you win.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not possible to just do it alone.
100%.
Because you will run and you will get tired, and there's no one to pick you up, and there's no one to encourage you, and you need to kind of step back, rest, refuel, and then go at it again. Whereas if while you have the energy, you're able to put together a good team of people that will have your back no matter what.
No matter what, yeah.
Because in life, we stumble, we fall, and then we have to pick ourselves up and rise again. It's just harder when you don't have the right support structure.
Yeah.
And I've been so blessed that not only within my family structure, but also within my business structure.
Yeah.
I have people that just want to see me win.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes my life, I won't say easy because it's never been easy, anything but it makes every fight worth it.
Yeah, worth it.
It makes every fight worth it.
Yeah.
It makes every fight worth it, knowing that you have a team of soldiers there to fight with you.
Do you ever think about impact? Like, does it cross your mind that, okay, I need to remain impactful, or do you think it's a byproduct of just being true to you?
I try never to overthink these things because then I think, and I'm not saying one shouldn't think about it. I think it's very important to be impactful and to be intentional about being impactful.
And by impact, I don't mean being in front of a mic or being in front of an audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what I always want to do is, for whatever I do, this conversation that you and I are having today, I want, whoever's going to watch this conversation to leave there with something.
Yeah.
To say, oh my goodness, just that moment in that conversation has altered my life in this way. That is impact, right? If I'm playing a role on TV and there's a moment in the storyline that someone can relate to, that's impact. So I've had a lot of moments, directly and indirectly through the characters that I've played, that have been so impactful in many different ways.
Yeah.
I feel like what one would consider my pain and suffering has been impactful.
Very impactful.
As a side effect, really.
Yeah.
Because so many people have been encouraged, given hope, and healed by my story.
Permission to live again.
That's impact.
That's impact.
And it's something that I didn't consciously think about. I was just going about my life and living and trying to survive and trying to live. And in the meantime, because I'm doing it as genuinely and as honorably as I possibly can, then it becomes impactful. So in that sense, I just try to live an impactful life without overthinking it.
Yeah. I love that. So I consider you someone who's multi-talented, multi-passionate, and I consider myself the same way as well, right? But sometimes I think I'll find myself thinking, maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe maybe choose one. The whole thing that says if you try to catch 2 rabbits, you lose all of them, or you don't catch all of them.
Yeah, jack of all trades, master of none.
But apparently there's a whole the sentence continues after that.
Yeah.
But then I look at other people, like you said, the impact of seeing you, from acting, modeling, Ferguson Films, Connie brands, and you're doing all of that. In your case, how do you know when you are productive, when you're producing something because you are really passionate about it and it's still aligned with who you are, and just being busy because
you have to live.
Oh yeah, you have to live. Oh, just because you can do it. Just because you're talented, just because you know the people. And as the more successful you get, the more opportunities come at you. And you have to start saying no. So how do you know? Am I still being productive or am I just being busy?
I think when you're still trying to find your way in the industry, you want to do everything.
Okay.
You really, so it's normal. It's okay.
Yeah.
Because you really want to do everything. Because I find also what that does is then it kind of makes you assess what you're good at.
Yes.
And then what you end up being really passionate about.
Okay.
So it's okay to try different avenues and find where your real fit is. And I do believe you can be a jack of many trades.
Yeah.
For me, it's really all about balance and not losing yourself in everything that you're doing. And especially if you're a wife and you're a parent.
Yeah.
It's about having your priorities straight.
100%.
In my 30s, I think it was, late 20s, I don't think I knew when to stop. Also, I think it was...
Okay, so it's normal in your 20s to not know when to stop.
I really don't think I knew when to stop. And also that fear of carpe diem, right? The opportunity is now. Like all these things are happening now, so I have to go full steam ahead.
Yeah.
I think at the time I literally could get only 3 hours sleep a night. There was a time I was I was a presenter, CCVTV. You guys won't even remember. And I was acting on Generations, and I was a DJ at Motsweding FM, which was all the way in Pretoria. And I was a presenter on Mamepe. So between these 4 jobs, which I was doing concurrently, I hardly ever slept. I got burnt out.
Yeah.
I think I lost myself. I didn't really, because you end up having so many bosses that you just want to please. You just want to please everybody.
And now you're playing catch up because you're probably missing deadlines.
And then your child hardly ever sees you. I mean, really, I think my priorities were so messed up.
Sure.
Because at the time, you're also going through your own personal stuff, and work is a coping mechanism.
Yes. And you're trying to prove that I've got this.
Yes, and you're trying to prove that I've got this. I think it's normal, but it's not normal to just let it go on without recognizing that something is wrong.
So there was no holistic wellness.
No, there's no holistic wellness, and that's absolutely it. There you're just going.
Yeah.
To a point where you actually end up not enjoying any of the stuff that you do.
There we go. That's burnout, though.
That's burnout. You end up not enjoying it anymore. It becomes such a chore to do all the things that you're doing, where you're supposed to really love and enjoy what you do.
Yeah. So when did you stop? When did you wake up? When did you get your... I mean, I've had about 3 burnouts. So.
Yeah, no, I stopped. I think in my mid-30s already I stopped. And then when I was 40, I think that's when I was brave enough to really cut. Because I think when I turned 40, I literally started from scratch because I left Generations. I left a job of 16 years without knowing where my next meal was going to come from. Because it was again just that letting go of the fear that I've known this for most of my life.
Yeah.
What
and
does my life look? No, I didn't have to leave. They didn't want me to leave.
Yeah.
I didn't have to leave. And that fear and question of what does my life look like post this? But sometimes when you don't take those risks and chances, you will never know. Yeah. If I hadn't done that, Ferguson Films would never have become what it became.
Sure, yeah. And you would be Karabo, would be
I
calling you
Karabo
on the road.
I'll always be Karabo.
Do people still call you Karabo?
They do. And when I go back, it's like I never left.
Jeez, that's so hectic. Okay, I read a quote, and I want to share it, and I want to know how it resonates with you. We kind of touched on it, but it says, slowing down does not mean you won't get to where you want to be. What does that quote mean to you?
Exactly that. Sometimes we think life is a sprint, but okay. I'm going to give an analogy. An analogy with a car. Okay. So when I was young, my uncle, my mom's younger brother, loved speed, right? So I'm obsessed with numbers. I love counting. I love numbers. Everything is a number. When I'm training, I'm counting everything.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. So when he was driving, because he loved speed, I would look at the trees and I would try to count the trees. And you don't see much because everything is a blur, right? Because he's driving so fast. Everything is a blur.
Sure.
Whereas when you're going step by step and you're walking slowly, you get to take in the view beautifully. You get to see and appreciate the beauty of everything. So I think really for me, that's what that quote says, that life is not a sprint.
Yeah. You'll still get where you need to be.
It's a process. It's a journey. You'll still get to where you're going. Take as much time as you need. And also, we're not gifted the same.
Yeah.
Just because Connie can get there faster does not mean you can get there faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I want to just go back to when you just lost your husband. Obviously, everything has to stand still.
Yeah.
It does stand still. But I think over time, as a person, you probably start feeling like, oh, I've got things to do. Did you ever feel like, if I don't get up and go now, I am going to miss out on these opportunities, so I have to get it together?
Yes, I did feel like that. I mean, I took 3 or 2 full months off post-show just to, get stronger again. But even in that time, all I could think about was, I'm not there, what is happening?
Sure.
I'm not there, what is happening?
Yeah.
And when I went back, it was like I couldn't wait to get back. Number one, because I wanted to honor him by continuing what we had started together.
Yeah.
And number two, just working in that environment made me feel so close to him as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Sure.
It made me feel so close to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel, are there things in your life that you feel like you've lost out of? Going back to that quote of slowing down does not mean you don't get to where you want to be. Because I think, and like I said, I want us to focus on longevity. We want to take all the opportunities because you feel like if you don't take them now, you'll never have them again. But there's moments in life, like after giving birth, I didn't take maternity leave.
Yeah.
And for both my kids, and I think about it now, I'm like, that is so silly. But it's like, you think like, if I stop now, I'm going to miss out on some things. So have you ever missed out on things?
I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
I don't pay too much attention to things I miss out on.
Okay.
Because I'm always looking forward.
Yeah.
When I had Lesedi, I also didn't take time off.
Yeah.
I think I literally stayed home because, again, I was young. I stayed home for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I was back at work. And working freelance is tough like that. I remember I used to carry my daughter in her little carry cot to work.
2 weeks. After 2 weeks.
After
3
2
weeks.
weeks. After 2 weeks.
Sure.
After 2 weeks. A girl had to do what a girl had to do.
Sure.
But yeah, life is life. Life continues. Life happens.
Yeah.
You miss out on an opportunity today, there'll be another one tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think we focus too much on the things we miss now that we forget to appreciate what we actually have and what we can achieve in future.
100%. So you recently rebranded Connie Brands and you expanded your product range. I think I saw some collagen, some vitamins. What inspired this, and how does the new product reflect your journey of resilience and excellence?
What inspired this? So when we launched Connie Brands in 2014, I think we were in store 2015. The idea was always to expand the brand, or the product range as we go. It took a lot longer than I thought it would to get to where we are now, but for many different reasons. When we launched, we were a very young brand, launching into the cosmetic market, which is extremely competitive, especially the body category. Yeah, it's very, very competitive.
And it wasn't popular then as it is now.
It wasn't popular then as it is now.
Yeah.
Then what was popular, people get used to something and they stick with it.
Yeah.
So trying to change mindsets and trying to get people into buying a local brand, a local product was a huge challenge, but we were up to it. So, which is why when we launched small. We launched with 3 ladies products and eventually added another 3 body lotions and men's 3 lotions and 3 shower gels.
Yeah.
So we were that on shelves for the longest time. And then started on increasing our product range. And then COVID happened, which slowed us down a lot.
Yeah.
It affected our sales a lot. One of the factories that we work with in Durban burned down. So it was like everything was just working against us, right? When you feel like you're moving and then suddenly you're not even stopping. Now it feels like you're going
10 steps back.
Yeah. Been through that. So this has been a long time.
I'm glad you're sharing this. I think we all need to hear this.
People need to know. It looks glamorous and easy when you see it, but getting to that point has taken a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And I think which is why I'm so proud of these products and where we are now.
Yeah.
And the fact that we finally get to share what we've been working on behind the scenes and for so long. It's a huge basket now. So it's not just body lotion anymore. So we've increased from the initial body range that we started with. I mean, that's still there. Obviously, it's got its clientele. But now we're also catering for, people that want to deal with skin firming, tissue oil, body oil, elixir. We've got hair products. We've got my favorite, the eye gels for tired eyes, because with what we do, and sometimes you don't get enough sleep, eye bags, you need that mini pamper session before you go out. The face mask.
Yeah.
So it's a whole wide range of products.
Are these products personal to you? Or are these things that you swear by? Like, are you an eye patch girl? eye mask. Definitely, we know you're a hair girl. That is
Yes,
that
yes,
is
yes.
definite. But everything else is an extension of you.
I'm a self-care girl.
Okay.
Very much a self-care girl. I mean, one of the things I swear by is doing a spa day at least once a month.
Okay.
Just to be pampered and to relax and
Yeah.
and you know, I'm huge into holistic wellness, right?
100%,
So it's
yeah.
not just about working. There's exercise. I try to eat well as far as I can. I mean, I love food.
Yeah.
I don't always
like
get it
peanut
right,
butter?
but I like peanut butter.
I was trying to make you peanut butter sandwich, but I didn't buy bread. I'm like, oh.
No, Shay, that would have been such a nice surprise. You know, I try to eat well. Don't always get it right, but
Yeah.
I try to balance as far as possible.
Yeah.
And then I have to take care of myself. So your question was, do they speak to me?
Yes.
Absolutely 100%. And how we came up with this latest range, obviously, is taking holistic wellness into consideration, doing everything that I'm doing, which is exercising. What do people that exercise do? They want firm skin. They want to take care of their stretch marks and whatnot. So we've considered all those things.
Yeah.
So our products have been tried and tested. Whew, I mean, some of the development took like with some of the products 3 years.
Yeah, it takes time. 3 years.
That's a long time.
That's a very long time.
That's
and
a
you have to
very
be
long
very,
time.
very
But
patient.
we really no. Also, I'm a tough customer.
Okay.
I really am because I have to be happy.
You
with
have
them.
to be happy, and you have to use it every day.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
you have to look like what you're selling us.
And that's the problem, is that if I use it and I don't feel it, I can't expect my customer to like it.
100%.
So yeah, no, we've been to hell and back with this range, but we are here now.
I'm excited to try it. So you mentioned that one of your hopes is to invite people to strive to embrace heart, body, mind, and soul in their daily living, and that's why this product came about. The product, right? What does that look like? I know you've already kind of unpacked it, but just to extend it, especially because our lives are so different. And I mean, it's easier if you're self-employed or work from home, but for someone who works long hours like you worked when you were in your 20s and sleeping 3 hours, and circumstances don't allow you to do that much self-care, what is a starting point for that holistic care, starting from inward going outward?
Yeah. Start with prayer. Mm-hmm. That's always the starting point. Mm-hmm. I think the starting point is always to find balance within and equilibrium within, and peace within. I think once you have that on lock, you are still enough to plan the rest of what you want for yourself properly. Because I feel like when you have too much noise here, and you are unsettled here, everything else around you just does not fall into place the way that it should. So I do believe it starts here. And then in terms of taking care of yourself from the inside out, now once you have that sorted, we believe obviously in application and taking care of your body from the outside and exercising and all that. But a lot of scientists will tell you that it's also what you take, what you ingest.
The food.
It's the food, it's the supplements you take that help you glow from the inside out.
That's
why we launched the collagen range. I mean, collagen, now you say collagen, it's like everybody knows what collagen is.
I know, but before
it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Especially with our people, it wasn't really a thing because we were not educated about these things.
I'm still not consistent with collagen.
And you should be.
Yeah.
You really should be, because, I mean, long term, we say prevention is better than cure.
Yeah.
Long term is better for you. It's better to start early than late.
100%.
Yeah.
So I want to touch a little bit on mental health. I listened to a TikTok by Jordan Peterson, and he shared that, and I'm going to read it here, the more you think about yourself, the more miserable you are. And then he later shared that the way to go about it is to think about other people and your relationship.
Right.
So my question to you, do you think there's a correlation between how isolated we are as a society and the rise in mental health? And isolated in the fact that, I mean, growing up, the walls weren't as high. We knew all our neighbors. We didn't depend on phones to connect. We were very connected versus now we're very, very isolated. Do you think there's a correlation with that and the rise in mental health in our society?
I 100% believe that.
Yeah.
And you touched on it now. I mean, when we were growing up, it was a lot safer than what it is now. we used to play in the streets in our panties.
Just
And
run
it
out
was
the gate.
okay.
Yeah.
And we would be dirty and happy and carefree.
Free.
And it was just so different from now.
Yeah.
Now, yes, we have these high walls. Now our children can't go out without calling every minute to say, this is where I am, because it's just not safe.
It's not safe, yeah.
So yes, I absolutely have to agree with that sentiment. Have I personally found a way around that? Yes. I do believe we can build small communities around ourselves of people that we trust, people that we have similar interests with or to. And personally, that has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
I have a small community of friends that I train with.
Yeah.
Now we've started dining together. Now we go on mini holidays together.
Sure.
Like we just have such happy, joyful moments together that make life not so daunting and not so serious.
Yeah.
So it's just little things like that. Not everything is that deep, right? Because we life is so serious, especially when you're a parent.
Yeah.
And when you're a student, and because you have all these serious things to think about. So sometimes it's just stepping back out of that position, out of your world, and appreciating the little things that actually make you happy.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important to recognize what it is that you like outside of what is supposed to be your norm, and include that as part of your daily routine.
Do you think community saved your life?
100%.
Yeah.
Because naturally I'm alone now.
Yeah. And that's what I'm asking. And I know you spoke, at first you spoke about your friends just coming to you, where naturally I think you would cocoon and go into you.
I would, and they wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important, and that's so rare, and that's so special.
Yeah.
And that's literally saved me, because my safe space is in a bubble.
100. I get you. Yeah.
Right? My safe space is in a bubble. I would literally retreat.
Yeah.
And just stay the hell away from everybody and just do me. And to be honest, when I think back, I think a lot of the times that's when I would go into my worst depressive episodes.
When you're alone.
When I'm alone.
Yeah, and you focus on just me.
Yes. And I focus on just me. Whereas since I opened up my world a bit more, I don't have time to fret. And to just focus on just me.
Yeah.
I love seeing people happy. And I think I've kind of discovered that I have that thing that makes people happy as well, because I'm silly.
Yeah.
Because I'm silly.
And warm.
And
when I walked in here, you were hiding behind the mirror.
I wasn't hiding. I was doing my mascara.
But I literally saw you go and peek out. I was like,
because I'm really a people's person that at one point didn't really like people. So it's such a contradiction.
Yeah.
Because I love my space, but I also thrive when I'm around the right people. Right. So it's just identifying those right people. So that you can just be.
Yeah. What's the best advice you have ever received? Or given?
That I have ever received or given?
Yeah, maybe you're the one who gave the advice.
Okay, I'll go with given. Never compare yourself to the next person.
Okay.
And this is really just from lived experience, because that will, number one, make you question yourself time and time and time and time again. And it'll make you not recognize your own beauty, your own power, your own qualities that make you special. So never, ever, ever compare yourself to the next person. Recognize their beauty. Recognize what makes them special. Appreciate it. But always remember that you also have what makes you special.
Okay. Who did you get that advice from?
No, that's me giving advice.
Oh, did you give that advice? So you didn't get the advice. You're giving the advice.
Yes.
Okay. How has being a grandmother changed you? Changed the way you love?
Oh man,
I can't believe you're a grandmother. I'm just looking at you.
Oh my God, no! It changes you.
Yeah.
I mean, I love being a mom. I think I've always been a great mom to my girls. But and I think maybe because I've always also wanted a boy.
Okay.
It's just different.
I'm looking at your face. Be different from.
No,
I love being a mother.
I know. No. But it's just different. I think you love differently. And I think I love him so much because I know that my daughter did that.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, my daughter did that.
Yeah.
So it's just different. So it actually makes me appreciate why my mom loved my girls so much. And sometimes I couldn't understand because I just thought, "Hore, waba spoiler." You know, like grandmothers always do, like she's doing too much. But I get it. It was because they were mine.
Yeah, it's like
you know, they were her daughter's children. So I get it.
Yeah.
So my daughter did that.
Sure.
So it's just different to be a grandmother.
Sure. I love that. Okay, we're going to go to our wall of wisdom. I've switched up yours because we've done one before, so I've switched up.
Okay.
Number 1, what should we never go a day without doing? You're not allowed to say praying.
Okay, I'm not going to say pray.
Only because you've already said it.
I will say it over and over. If you didn't say that, I was going to say that.
I know.
So I'm not going to say that. Okay, brush your teeth, meh?
Okay, something else. Okay, what do you never go a day without doing that people don't know?
Laughing.
You don't go a day without laughing?
No, I have to laugh.
So, okay, let's say nothing is funny. It's a really horrible day. What are you going to do? Are you putting on a song? Are you watching comedy? Are you just creating a moment and just creating laughter out of nowhere?
Listening to music. Never go a day without listening to music.
Okay. How can we start loving ourselves better?
You can start now.
How?
You can start by looking in the mirror and saying to yourself, "You're beautiful." Oh, wow. You have a gray hair in your eyebrow. Wow, that's special.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that gray hair in your eyebrow.
Yeah.
You know, just looking at and noticing things that are different but special about you and loving them. Yes.
The reason I ask, how can we start loving ourselves, is I think a lot of us were never ever taught that you should love yourself. A lot of little girls were never taught, how do you show yourself love? It's like we taught about everything else, but how to love. So I love your answer. Okay. That's where that came from.
Thank you.
What is the best habit to have?
Hey. Your questions, wow. The best habit to have. I'm going to say pray. And I know you don't want me to say pray.
I don't want you to say pray.
Okay. I think that needs to be a habit. For people that don't pray, start slowly. Remind yourself to pray when you forget. Eventually, when you do something often enough, it becomes habit.
Yes.
So that as a habit is actually one of the best to have.
Okay.
The second one for me to have as a habit is be active.
Yes.
Exercise, move, make that a habit.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of people say, "Oh, I struggle to motivate myself." And someone asked me, "How do I motivate myself?" And I think my answer was, I've actually gotten to a point where I don't have to motivate myself. I don't need motivation because I've been consistent.
Sure.
Once you build consistency, you don't need motivation to do
brushing your
anything.
teeth.
It's like brushing your teeth. Exactly.
Yeah. Sure.
It's a habit. It becomes a lifestyle.
What's a starting place of movement? Walking.
100%. Just walking.
Yeah.
Just walking.
That's it.
Yeah. Walk from the gate to the house and back.
Yeah.
And, you know, get a watch. Start with 1 kilometer.
What?
And then
10,000 steps.
10,000 steps, whatever. And then you build up from there.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you want to run. Some of us can't run because of our knees. But just move.
Yeah.
Any kind of movement is good.
How do you replace a bad habit with a good habit?
You just make the decision to.
Okay.
No, really. It's a decision away. You decide to.
Okay.
Because I think if you overthink it, then you're never going to do it. Because then you're going to ponder it. It's going to stress you because you're going to think about all the good things that you get from your bad habit, because it's a bad habit, but there's something that excites you about it.
Yeah.
That's
even
why
though it doesn't bring you any good. Yeah.
Even though it doesn't bring you any good, so just imagine swapping it for a good habit. It might be difficult in the beginning, but as soon as it becomes a habit,
it's glorious.
It's glorious, exactly.
My last question. A Bible verse that changed your perspective on life.
It's actually a prayer.
Okay.
It's Psalm 23.
Okay.
I pray that every night. I made sure my grandson knows that prayer.
Sure.
All my children know that prayer.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people don't know it. They know it maybe in the form of a song or whatever. But it's a prayer I swear by. And I think it's really seen me through the most.
The Lord is my shepherd.
It's seen me through the most.
Yeah.
It's just made me believe that even through the darkest periods of my life, I will come through.
Sure.
Yeah.
Any last words? It's
I love
Women's
you.
Month.
I love you.
I love you.
I see you.
I see
those
you.
are my last words. I love you. I see you. I appreciate you. I see what you're doing. You were talking about impact.
Yeah.
I think you are making the biggest impact. I know on your part it's intentional.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say keep that intention going. And we are rooting for you. We are supporting you.
Yeah.
One day this is going to be, now I'm prophesying over you.
I receive my.
One day you are going to be on the biggest platforms, like you won't know what hit you with what you started in your garage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Look at where we are.
Yeah. And I'm going to remind you.
And one day you will remind me to say,
call you.
Remember that little garage?
Yeah.
And this is what you said over my life?
Yeah.
I pray God grants you that.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you.
And happy Women's Month.
Happy Women's Month, baby. Thank you.